Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, kid.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor, Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's Milton's first son,
JP.
Tim Hoey. JP, so no, I only said that because of Milton beat Brookline today.
Just beat them.
And Colin.
Two RBIs.
RBIs. We're very proud of them. All right, we have a great show for tonight. So, boys, first of all, we're all rocking the garb, the Boston Bruins garb.
The black and gold.
Yep.
Black and gold, baby.
Stanley Cup fever hits the hub for the third time in 8 years. And, boys, it's been, you have to admit, the Carolina Hurricanes was a layup.
That was, they just came, they were empty.
Yeah.
Had nothing in the tank. And they had that one period where Tuca held the fort, my man Tuca.
Oh, my God. Tuca, so the over-under in Vegas where Tuca was mentioned in a positive way.
playing
Really
great.
got some high
Got
odds.
a modifier in front of it.
You know what? He was trying to prove me wrong. That's what it was. He was sick of listening to Tim Hoey on Wednesday nights.
So Timmy said that Tuca Joe had to play out of his mind. Did he play out of his mind against Carolina?
I don't think he needed
to
to,
win
but
the
he
cup.
played very, very well. He didn't need to.
To win the cup, you have to play out of him. You need a goalie who's the hottest
He's
goalie
got,
in
he's
the
got.
league. That's-
I'm just hoping that they're not icing him by this 11, 12 days off.
Rusty boy, Conn Smythe Trophy goes to Tuca
Right
if the,
now,
the
as
Bruins
of now
win.
it does, but if their goalie plays out of his mind,
No, but I'm saying if the Bruins win the Stanley Cup,
he's
it's-
gonna
yeah,
win
yeah.
the Conn Smythe. But I think it's going to probably be between one of the two goalies at this point.
Yeah, which goalie's going to stand on the head in the series? That's
I think
how
that's
it
probably
goes
the
a lot of
series,
times.
yeah.
All right, so Timmy's a season ticket holder. He'll be there in Game 1, and if Tuca gives up a soft goal like in the first, 2 games, are you going to say effing Tuca?
I will do it as I live my life. I will take it as it comes. I will be the first guy in line to pat him on the back if he has a good series.
All right,
And
Russ.
he's the first guy in line to stab him in the neck.
Yeah.
if he has a bad series.
Exactly. You're already behind him, ready to do that.
exactly.
Russ, all right, so you said you wanted St. Louis because you said that we have that
those-
city's number.
We just own those poor people, starting with the most improbable Super Bowl win of all time.
You know, I was down in New Orleans when they won the Super Bowl, and the people from St. Louis were coming up to us on Bourbon Street going, "Great game. We're so happy for you." I said, if we had lost, I'd be hitting you with a sharp object right now. They are the nicest people.
Yeah, they
on
did
the
that when the
planet.
Red Sox won in 2004, right?
yeah.
They're very nice people. And look, St. Louis, Russ is happy to be there.
Yeah, that's what could doom them. Is just it's been 49 years since they've been in a Stanley Cup final, and if they're just happy to be there, they're going to get rolled over by this.
You know, I
Bruins
heard
team.
they were in last place on January 2nd, and a guy placed a bet. I think it was 400 to 1 or 450 to 1 for the Blues to win the
Is
Stanley
that
Cup.
right?
The guy placed like a $500 bet.
Wow.
Now they're saying he should hedge his bet now.
Sure, absolutely.
of course
should.
he
He's
should.
due to win like $400,000 or $500,000, so you
just
bet
take-
$200,000 on the Bruins.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're going to walk away with $200,000.
Right.
Right.
So, all right, our hockey expert, Timmy Hoey.
Oh, so cool.
Blues seem slow. Is that my imagination?
You know, the West, I don't know what to make of the West. They're usually stronger than the East. You know, they're bigger, usually
they're
more
big,
physical. So I'm not taking them for granted. I'm not. You know, they found a way to beat that San Jose team, which was a pretty good team.
It's going to be boring. They're big and they play a very solid defensive game, especially the defensemen are big.
They're a lot like
But
the
guys, we're
Bruins.
happy that we're playing the Blues instead of San Jose.
They're
Would you agree?
grinders, too.
San Jose scared me a little bit. I mean, the Blues scared me a little bit, too. This isn't a given.
But that whole Joe Thornton thing coming back to kill the
It would have
Bruins.
gotten old really fast, right? and look, I don't think the Blues game at its peak measures up to San Jose's game at its peak. But San Jose, Carlson was injured. They just
Carlson
didn't
was
have
injured.
it.
That was, I mean, the two best defensemen in the league on one team was scary.
But guys, the Blues winning would be huge in the sense that this was a team that just eked out a playoff spot, and next thing you know, they're winning the
It
Stanley
happens
Cup.
like the LA Kings. You know, it happens every once in a while in hockey. 8 seeds because it's a war of attrition.
It would be a massive disappointment to lose. Let's all be honest.
yeah, right.
It would be a massive disappointment for the Bruins to lose the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, you
right?
can't lose
No,
this.
how about,
It's
you know,
right there
I don't
for
know
us.
if you have it in the subject matter, but 3 championships in 1 year.
That would be really good. It's already been good,
we
and
are
that
in
would be
the
getting better.
Nirvana period of Boston.
Oh, my
sports
God.
fans.
Well, you
I
have
mean,
to go back to Detroit,
the
like
30s. In the
70
30s.
years, 80, 90
the
years
30s,
ago.
yeah.
And back then, there wasn't
6
a
teams.
competition. There was only 6 teams
Yeah.
in the NHL. There was only like 8 teams in the NFL. You know, there's only 20 in the baseball.
So their hot goalie is Jordan Binnington, and he's a rookie, and he actually was on loan to the Providence Bruins.
He was.
That's the only time hockey does that.
Hockey is, I guess they do it in European soccer, but they loan players to other franchises. And St. Louis loaned the Providence Bruins Binnington last year for, I don't know, 10
Yeah,
games
they
or
lost
something
their
like that.
the franchise that they were associated with and had all the players they had under contract. They had to loan them out to all the other teams in the league.
It's typical Canada. I mean, the people are so
I hope it's not
friendly.
another.
Yeah,
I hope it's
you
not
take
another
my player.
Ken Dryden, coming out of Cornell.
Yeah.
He'll beat us.
Rookie
Again,
goalie
I
Ken
think
Dryden
that's
that
the
year.
reason, and I know we're going to get to our predictions, but that's the reason why I think it's going to go 7 games. This kid has been really hot, and a hot goalie can neutralize a hot offense, and I think this is a 7-game series.
So will you be calling for Tuukka's head and then we replace him and loan with Jordan Binnington? For game 3, can we take Binnington and you take Tuukka if things go bad?
Tuukka's been red hot, man. I'm going to give him all the credit in the world. He's been playing great.
All right, so boys, you got to give your props to the Jacobs family. They have been ripped a lot in this town for the many years that they've been owners.
Well, not in recent years.
No, that's what I'm saying.
For
in
a
recent
while.
time, all of a sudden they have gotten their act together, and what really was the impetus of that, Joe, was the fact is that the other 3 teams are doing really well and winning championships, and the Jacobs
There's a
had to
lot of
step up.
competition
what
for
the-
the sports dollar.
You know what the big difference, the big change I saw they signed Chara. When they went out
Right,
and got
yeah,
Chara,
great point, yeah.
they weren't going after any superstars in the league, and Chara at that point was clearly the marquee defenseman in the NHL, and they went and got him, and
things
it's like
changed.
they completely changed their way of thinking financially, I think, at that point, because they always went on the cheap.
Okay, so when we go to the break, we're going to come back with predictions for the Bruins Stanley Cup.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
All right, boys, our final predictions of the year for the Boston Bruins. Joseph.
I'm going to like the Bruins in 6. I think I really wasn't that impressed with Binnington, and I think they'll be able to. They're a better passing team, and they can expose him.
Rusty boy.
Well, 7 games. I think we're going to lose one of the first 2 at home. We're going to be all verklempt. We'll go win 1 in St. Louis and end up winning it in 7.
Yeah, but you think our experience with the Maple Leaf series and the
Yeah,
Blue
it's been
Jacket series of losing 1 at home?
Yeah,
will
we
keep
can.
fans
We're not going to
calmer?
panic, but the team won't panic, but we will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I think the Bruins are going to do that Bennington hasn't seen is that extra pass the Bruins make.
that's what
Uncle
I'm
Joe hit it right on the head. Most of these teams just get the shot and they take it. The Bruins take that extra look and they get that one-timer with the open net. I picked the Bruins in 6.
Well, every Bruins fan always scream is shoot the puck.
Oh,
So,
I get sick of hearing it.
but you just saying the extra pass makes me sick.
But that's why they
Well,
hear.
that's what'll work against this kid because those defensemen keep it clean around him.
Yeah.
They keep it very clean.
All right, boys, what's going to happen is the Bruins are going to win in 6 games. And I feel sad for Bruins fans because I would like to see the Bruins win at home because I know how special that was for Red Sox fans in 2013 when we won at home. The experience is a million times better, especially if you're at the game like we were. All right, so we go to the World Series champion Boston Red Sox. You see, there's a theme here. All right, 25-23, 5.5 games out from the hated Yankees. And boys, I hate to say it, I know we're coming close to Memorial Day, but Joe, we're playing for wild card spot.
Yep, we're chasing the Twins or the Indians, I guess. Those are
And
our
the Rays,
competition.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
the Rays, yeah.
Yeah, Russ, if you look at it, the league has too many weak teams for us to depend on other teams to do our dirty work.
There's going to be too many easy wins for too many teams to make up a lot of ground. And so that means we're going to have to play very well in the head-to-head series against all the teams in the wild card race. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it sucks to me because we're 19-10 in our last 29 games, but ultimately.
So are you saying Tampa's going to keep this up and they're going to?
No,
stay in first place?
Yankees
The
are in first place.
okay,
The Yankees are going to, and obviously they got players coming back.
I think Tampa's going to fold up and go away.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I don't know about that.
to your point, we were about that far out before that 19-10 started, too.
So guys,
we're only 6 games
Tampa
out.
won 92 games last year. The fact
They
is
had a
that
great
92
year.
games probably puts you in the wild card this year.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
at least in the running.
And
That's
Tampa's an improved team from last year.
Yeah.
All right, boys, get Andrew Benintendi out of the leadoff spot. He's got 2 hits leading off the game
That's
the
staggering
whole season.
And you're going to replace him with whom?
Yeah, that's the problem. We got no one.
That's still being worked.
It's still being worked on?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
just get him out of there, and then we're just going to pass? Like we're going to just have 8 guys in the
We're going
lineup?
to decline.
I don't
these
have my
things.
analytics guys because we fired them all after spring training.
Okay.
I got real people who know the sport.
Crusty old baseball
Hey,
Yeah,
your
that's
boy,
not
your
basement,
boy
man.
Christian Vasquez is hitting pretty well. I'd say put him in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Timmy,
How about
Christian
Mookie?
Vasquez
How about
has
Mookie?
he's the best batting average. Mookie, you've got to kid. Mookie needs a bad third. Though the Michael Chavis love affair that I have, all of a sudden.
So bat him
You're going to
first.
put him in lead off?
What's that? No, he's a third hitter. If you've ever seen
So
one.
you
right?
really can't answer this question. Who's going to replace
think
Benintendi?
Vasquez might be
I
the
can't.
guy.
No,
You,
right
you
now,
literally can't answer.
Vasquez, does Vasquez
You never
can he run?
ask a
Can Vasquez
question you
run?
can't
No, but he
answer.
could be. No, he can't run. No. Whoever replaces JBJ is the answer.
Sun Wei Lin?
Otis Nixon.
Otis Nixon.
Oh, yeah, bring him
Had
back.
2 home runs in 2 games, right?
What's that?
JBJ 2 home runs in 2 games.
All right, maybe he's. Yeah, all right.
Coming into
Those old,
the bad days are
Not
behind.
betting on it.
Boys, would you agree with this statement? Team is more conservative this year than last. No identity yet, and Cora has been kind of blah.
Well, he saved his aggressiveness last year for the playoffs and the World Series.
I think it's hard to be aggressive when you're playing blah baseball.
Yeah.
It's hard to, it's hard to be aggressive when you're playing from behind.
Do you
Right.
feel that there's really no identity yet? It seemed like the Red Sox.
I
of
feel like
last year
they're
had.
starting to hit their groove.
You do.
I do. I think this is a very talented team, minus the bullpen, which is the gigantic zit on the face.
No. The bullpen has pitched well.
Well,
Bullpen has not been an issue.
Well, it
I don't
has
know.
been an
I
issue
don't know.
because they're 50-50. Half of it really
Guys,
sucks.
they have a top 6 or 7 bullpen in the American League right now.
I think as a fan, what we're uncomfortable with is not knowing who's coming in the 7th, who's coming in the 8th and 9th.
Yeah.
The regular rotation. But if you look at it and you mix it all together, the numbers show that
Through
they've
the
been pretty
years,
good.
in our successful years, we knew who was coming in.
There were
We knew who was
roles.
coming. There
But
was
it doesn't
a
matter how we as fans feel. It matters if
Right.
the pitchers are comfortable with it. There has been no squawking on the part of the pitchers about, am I pitching the 7th, 8th, or 9th?
role.
No,
None.
but Russ, I would say that the 5 blown saves is more than you'd expect at this
Blown
period
saves
of
are a
time.
pretty funky stat, right? Like it's not a
Yeah.
complete blown save
Brazier
in the
isn't a
9th
natural
inning.
born closer either.
So-
He's
No,
like
well,
a fish
Barnes
out
now
of
is
he's a
taking
fish
over.
out of water.
Our problem, you put your finger on it, is to me the problem's in order of the bench is horrible. We're getting no energy, no production from the bench,
none.
and we're getting 0 production from our starting center fielder. I mean, really awful, right?
Yeah, right.
And we've had pitching. We had a lot of starting pitching problems early on in the year that we're still trying to make up for.
And whenever Nunez is in the lineup, and he's cost us some games at DH, Timmy. That's
I know, that was
that's not the Boston Red Sox, and it's sure not a team
that
that's
goes
going
back
win
to the bench. We
World
have to get somebody in a trade. We have to bring somebody into balls to that bench. I mean,
Yeah, look,
They don't want to go over that luxury tax threshold.
but also don't forget we've exhausted so many prospects to get the Chris Sales and Kimbrels of the world, and of course Travis Shaw,
the Thornburgs,
steals, right?
Is there another Chavis?
And we like look, and we kind of like our prospects when they bring them up, and that's a nice segue to Michael Chavis, who is already my second favorite Boston Red Sox already.
Of all time?
No, not of all.
No.
He's getting there, right? All of a sudden, this is a guy that we didn't expect anything from, and all of a sudden, he's a legitimate possible.
But is he going to become his baseball card?
Well, he doesn't have any numbers yet in the major leagues.
No, but I mean in his minor leagues. I mean,
we'll see. All right, we got to go to break. When we come back, we're going to go continue with the Boston Red Sox and maybe even talk about the Boston Celtics.
I'm afraid he
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Okay, I've never felt more passionate about anything except getting rid of Daniel Nava for the Boston Red Sox. Tyler Thornburg must leave the Red Sox. Governor Dukakis would agree. We're not getting Travis Shaw back.
No.
We're not getting all the prospects. Tyler Thornburg arguably is the worst pitcher in the history of the Boston Red Sox.
I was the first one in this city to go on record with what an idiot Tyler Thornburg was.
Years ago.
Years
ago, yes.
So I have nothing further to say on this matter.
Yeah, right. Please review the tape if you want to see what Russ said.
He couldn't even read the instructions for the offseason.
Nope.
Look, New York Yankees don't have these guys. New York Yankees, to me, have one of the best bullpens in the history of baseball. We can't be cutting the Tyler Thornburgs
How could a
and the
major
Brewers
league
out
team, with the stature of the Red Sox, have a guy like this on the lineup?
It's unbelievable.
They don't want to bring anyone up and give them a year of creditable service.
As
by
opposed to
doing so.
Sacrificing the year, the whole year. Then come on, Joe.
No,
They're not doing that.
they'll keep them down there as long as they can.
All right, Rusty Boy loves Mitch Moreland, and I'm now coming to the fold and saying we have to, he's a free agent, re-sign Mitch Moreland. I think Mitch Moreland has been arguably the most valuable player in the Boston Red Sox.
Wasn't your master plan, though, that Devers was going to move to first, be the lefty at first base?
Michael Chavis
at third, or Bobby Dahlbeck. Chavis stays at second.
Yeah, I didn't say Mitch Moreland was going to play first all the time.
Well,
I just
where's
wanted
Mitch
to
Moreland
sign him.
gonna play?
I'll work that out. That's
Okay,
next
so
year.
Wait, see,
gonna
and
work.
I already got my leader.
Martinez is going to exercise his option to go
I
elsewhere.
gotta call the Nixon family, see if Otis is available. All right, Pierce, JBJ, Leon, and Nunez, they're costing us games. I mean, that's simply enough. A game in May is worth just as much as a game in September.
Their simple presence in the lineup costs us the game.
I mean, there are too many guys when they show the lineup who are batting in the ones.
Is Leon helping the pitching, though? On the other side, I mean, Sale has come alive. Does Leon have anything to do with that?
Are we going to buy that, Joe?
No,
that
I'm
Sandy
not buying
Leon,
it.
I'm with Timmy. The turnaround of the pitching staff did coincide with them dispatching Swihart in favor of Salone.
But ultimately, Russ, can you afford, when you're talking about the lineups,
You can
the
afford-
Astros and
no,
the
no.
Yankees
You
to
can
have
afford
such weak...
one of those guys. The problem is you've got
They've
four.
got three.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
all
you
right,
could
I
carry
agree.
Sandy Leon. If you had last year's bench, you could carry Sandy Leon. That's what
Right.
they did last year.
If Leon is just this, spectacular ball catcher from the pitchers and he's, enhancing everything, you can live with that.
Okay.
But you can't live with that when JBJ is
You gotta score
below
some
the
runs.
Mendoza line. So JBJ might be getting a little hot now.
All right, we're going to go to the Celtics and
do
actually
we have to?
basketball. It's not out of the question if you think about it. I think that Kyrie got Hollywood in his system, and I think that actually this has kind of screwed him up mentally, and I think most likely he goes to Los Angeles Lakers.
There's a rumor out there that, he's absolutely reconsidering getting back together with LeBron in L.A.
Will you be?
Do you know what this
I know
screams
you
of
won't
to
be
me?
sad.
This screams immaturity.
Well, of
to
course
me.
he's immature. I mean, the man thinks the world is
No,
flat.
but this guy, he tries to come off like an intellectual, and he seems like a nice enough, I'll call him a kid. He seems like an immature kid who thinks he knows so much more about the world then he
Timmy,
really
nobody's
knows.
going to confuse Kyrie with an intellectual.
NBA players have been coddled since they were 10 years
he
old.
tries to come off as an intellectual.
I agree with Tim. You know,
I think he's just immature and he doesn't know who he is.
He portrays himself as some sort of wise old
Cosmopolitan,
man, like twice
said,
his age. Right now, we're twice his age.
I know, right, exactly.
And he pretends that he's been through a lifetime that we already have. And he positions himself on the team as the sage old
He's
wise
25
man.
years old.
He's 25 years old.
There are kids
26
getting out of
years
college now at 25. All the UMass hockey players are 25.
And
You know?
he's lived a very difficult, tough
Morris,
life.
they're all had more
He's
than
not
him.
been. His life hasn't been catered to at all.
Oh, no. He's come up the hard way.
Yeah. All right. So I have a theory about this. We always talk about the Red Sox and the Patriots and stuff as far as the economics of what the owner wants to pay. Okay. But we never talk about that with the Celtics. We just assume the Celtics ownership will just have blank checks. But I ask you, boys, does Wyc Grousbeck, who bought the team in 2002 for $360 million, want to give Kyrie Irving $200+ million?
I think he does.
Well, he doesn't want to, but he will, because as we went through last week, if he walks, the asset walks. You don't get that money back to spend in the market.
You know, the NBA, there is a limit. What, we can give him 40. What's the next highest that someone else can give him 30?
Yeah.
Does Kyrie walk away from
We
$10
can
million?
give him the Supermax.
I mean,
I think he does, because if he goes to Los Angeles or New York, he'll make that
he
back.
leaves
NBA
$50 million
is a
on
league of
the game.
superstars, as we've discussed. So do we forget all the sins if Anthony Davis and Kyrie come back? Are all sins forgiven?
But
Yes.
Timmy, what he can do is do what Durant did and LeBron has done, do the 1-and-1, and then
That's right.
go for the Supermax on the. He said, "Well, I don't like the Celtics. Maybe I'll try the Lakers and go for a Supermax with
You know,
them."
the Boston market and Kyrie do not seem to be a good mix.
Well, when you watch the playoffs and you watch the stars in the NBA win playoff games, you realize that Giannis, Leonard, and Curry are better than Irving.
Oh yeah, Kawhi. I
Plus
love.
5 other guys. I mean,
Yeah.
Kyrie's probably top 10 to 12 player. He's not in the top 8.
15.
Kyrie might be the best complementary player. Well, maybe the kid from Golden State, the shooting guard, there with Durant.
Kyrie's the best.
Curry.
I'd take him as
You know,
marquee
but
guy.
you know, 6'3", not many guys. You got to be able to just blindly hit threes from half court like Kyrie does. I mean, Kyrie really can't do that. But you put Kyrie with the superstar, that's when I believe he really, really shines.
All right, so Ricky Rubio. I just want the Celtics to sign Ricky Rubio, who's a
the
point
name.
guard, because I want to get a jersey that says Rubio.
And you like the alliteration,
Yeah,
Ricky
right.
Rubio.
Exactly. All right, when we come to break, we're going to cover more NBA and talk about the New England Patriots.
Kyrie is
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Okay, it's pretty clear that the Celtics are very far away from winning an NBA championship. All you have to do is watch the NBA playoffs. Then you see a team like the Golden State Warriors, and guys, they just turn it on when they feel like it.
Yeah, they've gone back. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder, Green and Thompson and Curry. I think they want to win without
Durant.
KD, or want to show that they can win without KD. They welcome him back with open arms, but they have a point to prove.
KD has been the show in the championships recently. I mean, it's been the KD show, right? Oh my God, he looks like the best player in the world in the playoffs when he's.
Well, he's a
unstoppable.
unique talent to
But
me.
they
and-
won without him.
Yeah, he's a
No,
unique
but
talent.
when he's out
physically.
there, he's clearly the best guy on the court.
2 weeks ago, after he went on that run, everyone and their brother was admitting he was the best player in the NBA. 2 weeks ago.
A
he was the best
7-footer,
player in
that,
the NBA.
with the 8-foot wingspan that can hit threes.
So have we stopped with the rumors of KD coming to the
We haven't
Celtics?
stopped that. That could happen.
No.
Yeah, let me tell you something. If KD wanted to come to Boston, and the Celtics sent Hayward out in a sign-in trade, Hayward would be the perfect guy for that Golden State team if Durant walked away. Talk
Which would
about
be
a
great.
fourth star.
Fine.
Right?
Fine.
Perfect.
Be the
Doesn't need
perfect
ball
guy.
all the time. No pressure. Doesn't need the ball all the time.
Yeah.
And you get KD here.
That's a
isn't
great point.
Klay
He's a good
He's
fit
a perfect guy
yeah.
for that team.
Yeah.
Isn't Klay Thompson possibly leaving Golden
Nah,
State
he'll
this
be
year?
back, especially if KD's not.
Oh,
back. He'll
Klay
be back.
Thompson would just look so good in a
Yeah,
Boston
it's
Celtics
impossible.
That team
uniform.
has such chemistry. It's incredible.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Okay, before we go to the Patriots, the ownership. when I was looking, they've had the team for 17 years. We only won one championship. We have high standards. The ownership just been blah?
Oh, no, I think he's as big a fan as Bob Kraft is of the Patriots. It just hasn't translated to wins.
Has the ownership not spent or done anything that they've needed to do?
Well, I just asked the question. I don't know.
Up until this disaster of a year, I mean, it's hard to come from the ashes of the NBA up to the level the Celtics have done. I think they've done a remarkable job. I mean, they just had, I don't know, the
But our
worst
standards
chemistry.
are so high right now in
I
this
know.
town.
But look,
all of a
Garnett
sudden,
doesn't get injured against Orlando, we win that championship. Or in Utah, rather.
And
We win that championship.
coming into this year.
No, I know, but all of a sudden, Russ, if the Bruins win the cup,
they'll be behind.
They're behind the numbers.
But the ownership is spent at 2 or above the cap every year. We've never had any concern about, they're not going to go in the luxury.
And on paper, we were going to the finals this year.
Well, I don't know about that.
On paper, we were.
Maybe. All right, now the more I look at it, we have to need a new piece of paper.
But that was thinking that Gordon Hayward was going to be an all-star.
Yeah, it didn't. It was a
Kyrie was going to
and
enhance,
he was so far from that, it was
enhance the
ridiculous.
current the kids that took it to the Eastern Conference Final last year. You think we're just going to get better? And the dynamics of it, obviously,
the hype didn't work, Timmy. The hype didn't work. All right, we go to the New England Patriots, who won the Super Bowl. I don't know if you guys know that. But Jules Edelman signs a 2-year extension. They paid him. They gave him a $12 million check. So he's actually in contract now for 3 years. Is that the time, Joe, that Tom Brady plays for the New England Patriots?
Well, no, it was overdue. You got to take care of your good players, or else you're going to have more locker room dissension.
The Patriots never pay for past performance. They pay for future performance. So they must think that Edelman has a lot left in the tank.
Yeah, but also I think this
no
is
more than 2 years.
This feels to me, Russ, more like a Ninkovich thing, where they were paying because he was underpaid so appreciably.
Yeah, it was pretty clear that he was underpaid, and that him being the best receiver on the team with such a low salary was actually stopping them. But I agree with you. I think it is interesting. It syncs up with that 3-year plan. And it's a little bit of a gift to Brady. Like, you're going to have Jules around for the rest of your career.
Yeah, and then because Trevor Lawrence would like to be thrown to.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the offensive lineman that retired.
No, we will mention him because I made sure before that show that I said Veldheer. And then I think I screwed up his first name.
He's got to give the money back now.
Yeah, well, of course
he never
is.
got it.
Because
he was signed and
Jared Veldheer, who was supposed to be like this flexible offensive tackle guy that was going to fit in nicely, just decides to retire. And offensive linemen do that, Joe, don't they? They just decide they can't do that. They're not going to.
Logan Mankins, I'll go back to my ranch. Joe Thomas, I'll go fishing instead of playing. They're like that.
That was a kick in the pants, though, when I read that.
But we've watched
I thought we were solid again. But in Dante Scarnecchia,
they'll find someone else. They'll find another.
But it's funny, Wes, you watch enough Hard Knocks, and I've watched every year, and that's what happens every training camp.
Look,
some offensive lineman.
It's always offensive lineman.
He just decides, I can't do it anymore.
Are they a smarter bunch than the rest of them?
Yes.
Yeah, I just think they realize if they lost a half a step, they're done.
I also think that they have to prepare their bodies for the year, and for most of these guys, it means gaining 25 pounds.
Yeah,
right.
That's just painful.
Eating and lifting.
Right?
Yeah.
Eat and lift.
Oh, yeah. Most of them are 60, 70 pounds
heavier than they should be.
And when they retire, they either go one way or the other. They either become skinny or they become enormous.
So it's true. All right, what's a bigger surprise, that Tyler Thornburg is still with the Boston Red Sox, or Danny Shelton was re-signed?
Well, they needed someone, I think Greg Bedard said, needed a fatty in the middle, and he happened to be a fatty.
I love how they termed it first round pick Danny Shelton, right?
Yeah.
First round pick re-signed.
Yeah.
Oh, but I will say I remember the Super Bowl footage, one of those wonderful porn where he made a play, and then when he ran to the sidelines because he makes one play, and Belichick said, "Danny, great play." I'm like, that was it.
Did I read that he kind of finished strong?
Yeah, he played better.
He did.
They gave practice squad guys, unsigned free agents, bigger signing bonuses than they just gave Danny Shelton.
He's a cuttable asset.
Yeah. All right, Tom Brady, Brookline's own Tom Brady, is his extension next, boys?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
By all accounts, and I think they have to wait until like August to actually do it for some weird salary cap reason. It's going to get done. They're not paying him $27 million.
He was on a talk show recently, and he jokingly brought up, that his wife has a pretty good job too. That's why he's not worried about the financial
he's
part
going to
of the
get
game.
paid, Timmy. I could tell. All right, Gerald McCoy. Every time there's a big name who gets cut. We always
Not a
associate him
chance.
with the Patriots.
Not
No.
a chance.
His yards per carry is down. Like
No, Gerald McCory is a lineman.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
LaShawn.
Yeah, I don't think they have enough
Tackle.
cap space.
Yeah.
To
There's
do it.
there's no way they could pay him.
Sue didn't get. We didn't get Sue.
No, we didn't get Sue.
Even though he was in town, he was spotted in Boston last
Oh,
week.
is that
No,
right?
he was
Oh.
visiting
He
his
trains
grandfather.
here. Yeah, he trains here.
Oh, is
He
that
was
right?
visiting his
Where did
grandfather,
who
he
did he
said.
sign with? The
Looks like Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Oh my
Not
God.
in our division.
Who even cares, Tampa Bay? All right, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank the boys. I want to thank everyone behind the scenes, which of course is he's the glue. That's his nickname. William the intern is now the glue. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of the Grandstanders Live. My name is Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.